Good morning. As I meditate and ponder this morning, a question, which is the title of today's talk, I'm realizing, well, let me just share it. Instead of just talking about it, let me just share the title and what I've written, and then we'll go from there. What do I think will happen at the Olympics? That's the title. I'm sure most people that connect with my daily videos are aware of all that is being said might happen at the Olympics in London. There have been warnings and promises. Which will happen? As always with things like this, there is timeline 1 and timeline 2. More and more I am convinced that both timelines are playing out to some degree, depending on where you may stand, perspective, and at what frequency you vibrate. I have no idea how worlds can separate like an amoeba, but that is the image some have portrayed. One thing is different for me this time as opposed to other times of great expectation. I am not emotionally attached. I simply know that good things are happening and hidden things will continue to manifest for those that choose the vibration of love. Whatever happens out of the ordinary, love wins. I realized as I read that I wasn't clear. And that's because this morning I'm just sort of in a blissful place and not very analytical. And yet, as I came to the computer, since so many have been asking me what I think is going to happen at the Olympics, that I owed it to you all to give my response. But the truth is, I've been so preoccupied with other things lately that I haven't had time to really look deeply at all of the promises and warnings about the Olympics. I do know that the Olympic Stadium is supposed to have been built on a radiation waste dump. It's probably true. I do know that there are forces involved that are planning things that are not normal, which is why I guess so many dignitaries are not showing up and so many seats are unsold at this Olympics. It is being boycotted by world leaders, which of course would be a suspicious thing to do. I do know that there was supposed to be a big UFO sighted over the top. I've seen that story. I've seen headlines and caught glimpses of them planning some kind of a rapture or religious ceremony, or not ceremony because it's, well, whatever. The ETs are going to come. There's going to be disclosure. In the past, I would have been all caught up in the hoopla. This time I'm not. This time I'm in a space where it almost doesn't matter, because I do sense that good things are going to happen, and I do think that even if something appears bad, it's not going to be as bad as what it might have been, because people are waking up. people are not in the same place that we were in even a month or two ago. Human consciousness, at least as I'm feeling it and sensing it, is being elevated. We are in an ascension process. We, being everyone on this planet, even the dark side, is being affected by it. Even the dark side is going to see that when they plan bad things, they somehow have a good ending. And I don't know which souls might be sacrificed, because the dark side is very much into sacrifice. But I'm also convinced that nothing happens that is not for the highest good of all. And we live in a time, I'm convinced, when the highest good is being brought forth through us, in us, by us, for us. It's all working together, ultimately for good. Timeline 2, which is the dark timeline, the timeline of cataclysm, is simply, from my perspective and what I'm feeling, is simply not going to happen. Will it happen in a different world? Will the worlds actually split so that cataclysm happens on one and peace happens on the other one? I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know the answer. There may be people on this planet that are in such high expectation and such high belief and visualization of an outcome that sees cataclysm, that somehow spirit or creation is going to allow them to experience their expectation. There may be people that expect hell to break out on earth. Well, maybe on some earth hell will break out. I don't know how the universe manages to do it, but somehow I am believing or thinking or feeling more and more that the universe does allow us to experience what we need to experience, whatever that may be, whatever our soul's contract may have been and may be in the present time. Maybe the worlds do split and everybody does get what they need to get to experience, so that ultimately we all come home. I honestly believe that that's what's happening in humanity now in 2012, at this point in time, as July ends and August is knocking at our door, ready to burst forth on the scene with a new month. Will August 4th be the end of something and the beginning of something else? It's very, very possible. I look for changes at the government level. I look for changes at the spiritual level. I look for changes at the monetary level. I look for changes in interpersonal relationships as people begin to see more than they've been able to see in the past. I feel a longing in people's hearts, in the collective unconscious, for connection. I feel a longing for people to finally be told the truth, and an unwillingness of more and more people to accept lies and to accept fear-mongering and warnings of how bad things are going to be. I don't have the sense that things are going to be bad. I'm sorry, maybe my head is in the sand. I'm not sure. I'm not one that likes to put my head in the sand and ignore and pretend that things aren't happening, but neither am I Neither am I going to get caught up, as I have in the past, of all the warnings and making preparations. Like some people are saying, you've got to stockpile food at least for a month or so. I don't know. I feel I'm going to be taken care of, whatever happens. Am I going to ascend? Part of me already has. It's what's going to happen with my lawsuits and stuff like that. Somehow I have the sense that they're all going to come out good. I just have that sense. Oh, there's still some apprehension about that nasty judge. Oh yeah, he's quite a guy. Maybe Spirit's going to change his heart. I don't know. I saw things this weekend that gave me hope for humanity. With the 13, 14 people that participated with me in the workshop. It was very uplifting, very inspiring, very loving. I like that energy. And I think that each of us, if we choose to, can surround the Olympics with so much love that whatever happens becomes a miracle. Whatever happens becomes transformative in nature, so that humans and the planet and all the animals and everything that lives and moves and has its being, whether in the visible or invisible realms upon this planet, that everything is affected and uplifted, and that greater connection happens, that greater love manifests, that the lights come on, and things that were hidden even to those that were diehards in wanting to maintain the status quo, that the lights come on and they realize that the status quo cannot be maintained. That somehow, some way, it's going to be different this time than it's ever been before. Somehow the black ops that are planned are going to fall flat. Will ETs manifest? I sure hope so. Somebody sent me an invitation to have a couple angels call on me. Well, I've never physically seen angels other than angelic humans. Something that I would say, oh, well, there's an angel. There's Michael or Gabriel or Uriel or any one of the so-called archangels. I've never had someone manifest to me that's an ascended master like Saint Germain or Jesus or Kuan Yin or name the Buddha, anybody. I've never had that happen. Do I believe it can happen? Yes, I do. Am I willing to interact with extraterrestrials or with angels? I surely am. When it's time, it will happen. Right now, today, I'm experiencing mostly peace, mostly bliss, mostly a sense of contentment and happiness. Not a sense of great expectation that's going to get dashed on the rocks as has happened in the past. Something different is happening on Earth. Something brand new, something good. This is what I feel and what I sense. Tomorrow may be different. I don't know. I allow my feelings to be and I go with them, and I encourage you to do the same. Go into the feelings, whatever they are. If you're feeling bad feelings, go into them. Because let me tell you, folks, one of the things that I'm learning is that none of it is bad. None of it's bad, except believing it makes it so for us. If you believe it's terrible, well, you're going to experience the terribleness or the terror of it. But for me, I've just witnessed too much love to be in a place of fear. If I disappoint you with the message today, and it's funny, because when I'm when I'm more mellow, less people watch my videos. Makes me wonder. I leave you with these rambling thoughts this morning, and I trust that each of you finds a place of peace within your own being, because we are love, and it is the Father's goodwill and the Mother's goodwill, Father, Mother, God, to bring us to a place of fulfillment. Thank you. Namaste.